The startup is based in the entertainment industry, and my whole life I've worked in the entertainment industry, and I've worked in different aspects of it, mostly in the music side. And I've worked as a creative, as a producer, as a writer, a touring artist, but also always had an element in the business. And the businesses that I built up over the years were based on seeing a need, seeing a problem, and seeing an easy way of fixing it. Pain points in the industry, and thinking, well, that why is that so difficult? That should be quite easy. And I've had a very large booking agency in the UK in the 90s that I built up just because I was booking my own bands and I was good at it. And then people just came to me and said, can you do it for me? And next thing I know, we have 10 people working for me, and I have 850 bands and over 1,200 DJs. And then I've also been on the media side. I was a senior editor and co-publisher of an entertainment publication in the UK, a monthly publication, at 40,000 circulation. And then I've also traveled a lot in my life and lived in many different countries. I'm actually British, even though I don't sound it. And that is mainly due to being in other cultures for too long, and my accent has dwindled. But I'm based in Vienna in Austria. The company's based in the UK. But while being here in Austria and CD sales dwindling in the 2000, 2010 in that sector, those industry was losing income. And so the idea was, okay, how am I going to put extra leverage behind my catalog for actually making a living out of it still? And somebody suggested sync licensing to me. Now, sync licensing is the legal placement of audio in visual content. So by visual content, I mean film, television, video games, and advertising. These are the main ones, and also live, like in theater or in corporate events. And what this means is that for somebody to use music, they have to get permission by the people that own the music. And that is on two sides. One is the recording, and the other one is the song. And there's master rights and publishing. And then they pay a license fee to use it. And then if it's, say, for example, if it's a TV show, they pay a license fee to use it. They do the contracts. They have the rights to be able to use it in this TV show. And then when it's broadcast, then also the copyright holders gain a broadcast royalty. Right? And this is, a lot of people know about this for songs on the radio when radio was really popular. And every time your song gets played, you get a royalty. It's same with television, same with film. There's royalties that get paid for all of that. And so between 2000 and 2010, I started looking at sync licensing, started actually placing my own stuff in sync licensing with music supervisors and doing quite well with it. I went to a lot of conferences, met a lot of people, networked in many different countries. And then other people asked me if I could do it for them, just like the booking agency started. It seems really good. You're doing that very well. Can you do it for me? So next thing I know, I have a boutique sync licensing agency, and I'm dealing with a few dozen artists and record labels representing their catalogs in sync. And through that, I realized that there's a lot of pain points in the industry. And the music industry there's some sides of the music industry that the tech has really shone, like, the streaming side. There's some elements of the entertainment industry where tech has really done wonderful things. But on the data, on the management, on the actual dealing with the mechanics of copyright holders, publishers, record companies, streaming platforms, all of this, the communication mechanics is archaic, is the best way to put it. When I was talking to music supervisors, and they would tell me, the music supervisors are the people that actually buy the music for the visual production company. They're the middlemen. Right? They're the middlemen that get in between the deal. And they're telling me how they're using Excel files and Word documents and emails and all kinds of ways of trying to manage the sync licensing process. And I thought, okay, well, that's very archaic, and they should come into the 21st century with the rest of us. And so I went looking for it. I really thought that somebody else must be smarter than me and have actually built this already. And I'm sure it's out there, because it seemed very simple to me that these are the needs, and this is how to fix these needs, these pain points. And nobody had built it. It seemed to me that everybody was looking at that part of the industry backwards. They were running. There's a lot of subscription services for different tools, for different ways of doing things, and subscription services don't really work. But none of them were building an ecosystem for the whole industry to plug in together. And this is the main problem. It's the communication, it's the reliability of data, all of these elements. And if most of the services in the industry are siloed verticals, where they stand alone and they don't integrate with other systems. And so our system actually brings everybody in together. Our system, we have portals for each of this set of stakeholders in the industry, and separate tools for them to work inside the system with everything they need to do for sync licensing management. And we've been working on this for a few years. We've had a lot of input from major people in the industry on all sides, from music supervisors, visual production companies, advertising agencies, publishers, record companies, everybody from independent record companies all the way up to Sony and Universal and Warner. We've had many meetings with them and sit downs and what should it be and how should it work. And so what we have built is best in class, state of the art tools to handle every aspect of sync licensing. We've automated a lot of the tedious things. Like it's amazing how much paperwork is involved. You know, you sit and you watch a film and you hear the music and it's moving and it's really nice. You have no idea how much paperwork was involved to actually have that music in that film. And it's so we've automated a lot of these points, right? And we have users. We are in the beta version right now since the end of September last year, and we're getting ready to go on a full launch. But we do have active users that we have chosen in all the different sectors in many different countries. Everything from, we're working in South America, in Central America, North America, Europe, Sub-Sahara Africa, China, Australia, Japan. And we are being seen as our tools are going to become the standard for the industry to use. And that's the idea behind it. It has to standardize the way the industry communicates, the way the industry works. And so a lot of the users that we have, the feedback, compliments are very nice, but we don't really need compliments. What we need is critical thoughts about how we can make it better. But we get a lot of compliments. And last week I received an email from a music supervisor in the States that does television shows. And she told me this is going to save me a day to 2 days every week using this system. So that in itself makes that we've actually succeeded in many ways. We are always building on it. We have a very agile team. It's all in-house. We don't outsource anything. Okay, it's myself, and we have a CTO who is the technical officer. He runs the technical team, the development team. We also have our CLO, which is our chief legal officer. It handles all the legal aspects, all the contracts and everything. And we're bringing in also a CFO. And these people have, Stacy, our CLO, she is decades in the music industry as a lawyer, right? Decades. And she's represented A-level artists like David Bowie and Tina Turner and Elvis Costello, and she's up at that level. And our CFO that we're bringing in, he's also worked decades in the music industry as a financial side of companies. And he has a company based in London where he has a team of 20 people, and they're going to bring the whole team in as part of our partner. So we can have a very strong, solid financial team working for us. And with that, we are looking for investment right now just to give some leverage to the momentum that we have. We are there's a lot of conferences going on in the music industry and the entertainment industry that focus on sync licensing. And we are being invited almost every week. I'm in a conference that they're inviting us in to come and talk about what we have built, show it to the attendees. And the feedback is like, it's incredible. I feel like I'm stepping into the future, all of that. And I always have an answer when people say that they feel like they're stepping in this future. I say, no, you're stepping out of the past into the now, right? Yeah. And so it's a very positive thing. Now, our business model is, and this is one of the leverage points that we have, is for the music supervisors and the visual production companies and the advertising agencies, it's totally free to use. right? We will never charge them a penny. We built them best-in-class tools. Okay, and the idea is when they're in the system, then all the copyright holders need to be registered with the system as well to have their catalogs considered for sync placement. And sync licensing is seen as one of the holy grails of marketing in the industry right now. If you have an unknown band, a record label has an unknown band, they get a sync placement in a cool TV show or a cool film, it can make that band. And they see spikes on Spotify and Apple of in the millions of streams because of a placement in a good placement. So this is something that's really sought after. And currently there's a lot of friction, a lot of static of communication, and we are fixing that. We're making it so that the communication flows easily. And we have a lot of copyright holders coming in and some very cool big ones. I was just in a conversation earlier today with a very large, they're sort of an independent, but they're very huge. And they're loving it. They're actually using it and their whole team is using it and they're just loving it. Now, back to our business model, we charge 2% of the sync license fee. Okay, so and when the license is concluded, the fee is paid, and we take 2% of that. And to give an idea of what sort of elements of that, sync licensing right now is currently around 1.6 billion a year. Right, but that is considered globally, but that does not include China, Sub-Saharan Africa, or South America. Okay, and these markets are booming. The amount of visual production that is being done in these markets is it's going crazy. Also globally, the number of visual productions being done is going crazy because of Amazon making their own content and all these streaming platforms making their own content. Plus, then the legacy people like Disney coming into the streaming platform and then making more content for their streaming platform. So it's going up at 1.6 billion a year, not including those other countries. So we think it's about double that, and it's growing. And it's growing at usually about 2 digits.